Welcome to the Masters in Motion podcast, where we empower Masters athletes to reach their full potential. Join us as we delve into the world of CrossFit and showcase the strength, resilience, and determination of Masters athletes, because we love this sport. I'm Jason Grubb. I'm here with Rick Stevenson. This is episode 36. And Rick, we have our first repeat guest today.
Yes, we do. We are very excited. We'll be talking here with co-event founder of the Legends Championship and soon to be named CrossFit Legends Championships, Joe Linton. And as you know, Joe's been involved with the Legends Championship since its founding. He and Bob have put on an outstanding event, and with the news in the last couple of weeks of the movement from CrossFit over to Legends for the 2024 championship, we thought it would be appropriate to bring Joe back on and ask him what everybody wants to find out. So with that, welcome, Joe.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, happy to be here. Busy man, but you know, it's needed. More that we can get on these podcasts and talk to the community, the better.
Yeah, we're excited. Boy, we have some more questions. I know the last time we spoke with you, the focus was primarily around the First Form Legends Championship that's occurring this December. Some great news, obviously, has been released. We all know what it's about. So we wanted to, catch up with you, ask some more general, questions. Some more time has passed. Don't know what else has been finalized or can be released, but we're excited that you and Bob and the rest of your team are going to be the tip of the spear for the Masters community in the 2024 season. And boy, I know we had all these questions, and luckily CrossFit answered some so Jason, myself, and all the other athletes will be part of the qualifying process through CrossFit, through the open, through quarters, through semis, knock on wood. Mm-hmm. But then that will funnel into what to be called the Legends CrossFit Championship.
Yeah, we'll see. TBD,
whatever it's called. It's going to be called something.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to change that much, but we'll see. But I think it's going to be very similar to what we've had in the past. So, yeah.
I was going to say, Joe, as we've all been able to digest the news over the past week and a half. I think one of the questions and thoughts I had was like, man, what was this process like? When did you get contacted, or how did this come together? Maybe a little bit behind the scenes. We know all about Legends. We know about the games. Rick and I have both done all that. Now, how did that come together for you guys?
So first contact was months ago. I want to say before summer even. So Dave texts Bob, hey, we need to talk as soon as possible. And Bob was in Italy on a family vacation, like a big one. I think it was like a full month that they've been planning for a long time. So Bob texts Dave back like, hey, I'm on a family vacation. I get back in a couple of weeks. Can we talk then? I believe Dave said, no, we need to talk now. So,
yeah, that's a crazy text
what are you
to get.
Do?
Yeah, it's a little scary, right? Even hearing it kind of gives me shivers a little bit. But so Bob was like, all right, so he, put his shoes on, stepped outside of his hotel or whatever he was staying. And then they had a conversation about the plans that they announced to separate the games and the different age groups and adaptive. So Bob's in Italy. I was asleep. It's around midnight. He texts me, hey, try to call you. Dave wants us to run the CrossFit Masters Games. So I
woke up to that text.
I woke up to that. That's midnight, right? So, I'm wake up at midnight. The text didn't wake me up. It was like 15 minutes after I received it. I wake up to take my, my old man pee. And so I tried to call him. He didn't pick up. He's like, oh, sorry, I had breakfast. We'll have to talk later. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just not going to sleep and go work. So I went out to my gym. I have a little garage gym, did some rowing. Then I jumped on my computer and just started working, emails, catching up on stuff, programming. So, we talked the next day. He gave me the lowdown on what the conversation was like. It was very just broad surface level stuff. When Bob got back into town, we finally had a call with Dave, and we got another, overview of what it was going to look like and what they wanted us to do to start the process of, figuring out how this is going to look between us. That was like 2 weeks that we were just sitting around wondering like, how is this going to look? What are we going to be allowed to do? How much control do we have? So there was a lot of questions that we had, like I'm sure you guys all feel like I've been there, and I was like, I have a billion questions. So then once we had the conversation with Dave, very positive. We found out that we're going to have a lot of control. It's going to be, we're going to have a lot of say. It's going to be, he said, like, I want CrossFit to support these groups to make sure that these events are top notch and that these events increase dramatically from what they're already providing. It was a great meeting. So we said, cool, we're in, we want to move forward with more meetings. So then we met with the team through the next 2 to 3 meetings. It was very, all the hesitation was taken away. There's a lot of collaboration and a lot of respect that they're giving us as the masters, the leader of the masters, competition, as well as from what I've heard from Pitt. I talk to them pretty much daily, and Wheelwad as well. So they're really good at cleaning up any hesitations we had and showing their support.
What were some of your hesitations? What was that? What hesitations were relieved? What were you guys a little bit nervous about? Which probably we probably had some of those concerns as well. But could you put some?
Yeah, for sure. So we started Legends because we wanted to provide a the younger people, they have 40 per age group, and so we're like, we need to provide a competition that on the younger side anyway provides 40 per age group. We want to provide a games-like experience on the competition floor that the pros get, that the younger people get. So that's a big task because even filling up those heats with 40 in the beginning was tough, but we eventually got there. And then we do scale that down according to total registration that we've seen in the open. And it's kind of a percentage base, right? So that was a huge thing. So if we weren't allowed to have a big field, then that was going to be something that might be a deal breaker because that is why we started it. That is why one of the main reasons. So that was, if we had to keep it to 10, I don't know. It would have gone against one of the main things of why we started this competition.
But that wasn't a sticking point that they came to you and said, hey, we want to give you this control, but hey, you're going to only have to take 10 per division.
Yeah, Dave cleared that up on first conversation, right away. That was one of the things. So it's like, and even then, so when we're going over decisions, they ask our opinion. We're never told, you're going to do this. We're like, hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys want to do? Is this okay? So it's very respectful. It's nice.
That's good. That's real good to hear. And when you go ahead, Joyce.
You saw me inhale. That's a funny thing about podcasting. Like, so we do this audio version, but we can see each other right now. And you might inhale, I inhale at the same time. With the qualification process being the open, quarterfinals, semifinals, I've seen a lot of online chatter around this idea that, as masters athletes, we bring a lot of revenue into CrossFit via the open, quarterfinals, semifinals. By no means do we have a right to say where that revenue goes. It's not our job. Right. That's CrossFit. They provide a sport for us. But that does beg the question, is CrossFit injecting financially into the partnership as well? And how much specifically? I'm just kidding. Not how much. Yeah. But is there an investment beyond just saying, hey, we're bestowing this upon you? What does that look like, if you can share?
So that they will be contributing financially and operationally, I guess, support staff. So to enhance the competition overall, right? So to the flair, the pomp and circumstance, the all the frills that you see at the CrossFit Games. Obviously, we won't be able to replicate exactly that. But we will be able to bring up Legends, for a better word, Legends on steroids, so it's like, it's going to be better. It's going to be better. We're going to provide an amazing experience. And so CrossFit wants to do that. It still has their brand name on it. So, they want to make sure that year one, that it is elevated a lot. And we'd even have plans to, we're talking about, year one being the base, year one being the start. Just like Legends, how Legends started with 36 people. Then, you fast forward to when we had our first 3-day event and then went to a 4-day event and then added a live stream and then added, and then at year 3 or 4, we added gear. Same thing. Like we have plans to make it better each and every year, but even the base year is going to be, which is next year, the new era, if you will, the Masters Games, is going to be a huge enhancement to what Legends provides for the Masters. So it's Masters focused, and I think that's what a lot of people are going to be excited about. That everything that when you attend, to think about everything there is just for you. It's just for you. So it feels different,
Well, and I think Rick and I both experiencing multiple years at Legends. We can say, that's the experience we've had at Legends. So to even say Legends plus this injection
Yeah.
of support and partnership, Legends on steroids. I think that's really exciting. I mean, you guys have already, every year it's been a VIP experience, even to where, it's almost that locker room type experience that we've experienced at the games upon registration. You guys have done a great job with that. So to see that continue. And I mean, in retrospect, it's funny because it's almost as if like you needed those last 3 years to really perfect what you've been doing in order to take it to this next level. So from managing in a parking lot during a pandemic to, having multiple venues, multiple locations, even the constraints that you had to navigate at Mayhem and how well you guys did managing those constraints to make it a professional event. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. In hindsight, we always said like, man, I wish we can just rinse and repeat. I wish we can just be at the same location, but new opportunities kept popping up. 2020 was, we were forced to go to, we were like Texas, Florida, or Arizona. We're like, we can drive to Arizona. So we're going to Arizona. We're going in a parking lot. We figured it out. Next year, brought it back to San Diego. It was amazing, beautiful destination city. Still a great time of year for San Diego. It's not too cold. It's not too hot. And then Mayhem contacted us. We had to jump on that. We're like, we could do another year in San Diego, but imagine the memories that could be made for the competitors to go to Mayhem and see it transform. And I think you said this, Jason, like we transformed that gym into like a Coliseum feeling. And that's amazing. People won't forget that. Those pictures are going to be around forever. Now, I think that is what led to, CrossFit HQ, and Dave wanting us to lead it. They see the effort. They know how complicated it is to host events in different cities and how much goes into it. So they see the effort. And it's nice to be that recognition is nice, but it's also nice to be given the opportunity to continue what we do. And so excited.
Well, where I was going to go, the heavy lifting that you and Bob are doing, we know that is far and away the unsung, the unsung heroes of it because it's behind the scenes. But speaking of behind the scenes, Jason Ainsley, I mean, we competed against him. I hope he's not competing this year.
No, no. He's taking a step. He's taking a step back. I think he's retiring.
Tell us about his involvement and how much his joining your group has really meant to either further this year's competition or what you have planned. Planned for the next year. Because it's great guy, just hard worker, which we didn't know much about him and what he could bring to the table for you.
Yeah, I mean, so he contacted Bob first because he competed against Bob at a couple, Granite Games and maybe Waterpalooza, but they've competed against each other and they had, loose conversations here and there. So you talked to Bob. We brought him on 2 years ago, his competition at Monster Games out in Joplin, Missouri as a live event qualifier. So that'd be 2022. That was the first year. We helped him kind of beef up his masters category at Monster Games. So I think in 2021, he only had about 40 masters total, but then making him a live event qualifier, he got that up to like 120. This past year, it was almost 200. Wow. So what's super cool, like exciting, it's that the increase to go to qualify for the Legends Championship and the increase in revenue to provide for his competition, for him to reinvest and make it better and better. Like he runs a fantastic comp. Like Monster Games, it feels a lot like Legends Championship. Like everyone's having fun. They have all age groups and they have teams and whatnot, but it's such a good family feel. And so it's cool to see other competitions replicate that. Like I went out there this year and it was amazing. It was like I feel like I'm at Legends. This is awesome. It's on time. It's professional. Everyone's happy and smiling and talking to each other. So bringing on Jason, we started talks about bringing him onto the team just for the championship. And this was pre the games announcement and talks began. Brought him on to run sponsorship. He has a marketing background, like 18 years deep. This is what he went to college for. I did not go to college for this. I have no background in this. So having him come on was immensely helpful. Even this year, we have at least 26 booth vendor village for the championship this year.
That's strong.
The variety is amazing. We have like 5 different apparel companies, but they're all like way different. First Form, Tier, those are deals that he brought in. First one was the title sponsor. That was from Jason. Tier from Jason. Just kind of let him loose. I sent him a couple, a few that came from previous years, and he took over the conversation and he handled everything. And it's an amazing relief, because that does take up a lot of time. And so when we're trying to make sure the online qualifier goes smoothly, make sure video review goes smoothly, make sure all the other, ordering barricades and heavy equipment and shipping out flooring, to take the time to meet with all of these vendors and sponsors to show them the love that they deserve and why they should be partnering with us, bringing on him has been a huge help. And we're very excited to continue that relationship going forward.
I was going to say, I bet you after the announcement now, the knocks on his door are, many times, many multiples of, just because, for those certain sponsors that are in the space or the size that you think might be most beneficial to the Masters community, this is their opportunity. You get in, get in while you can.
Yeah, because we plan to, we're going to have a bunch of vendors next year. People are already kind of asking, obviously. They want to put it in their budget, right? Next year's rolling up. They got to put it in their budget. I'm sure they're probably having budgeting meetings November and December to kick off the year, right? So it's important to start those conversations and get it on their calendar so that they want to be at Legends. I can tell you that our championship, the Masters community at a championship, at an event, they spend money every year. All the big ones. Viore sold out first day. They had to go to local stores in 2021 and take their inventory. Mayhem, their store was like, they did well, and so their coffee shop last year, after day two, they had to close at noon each day to go get more supplies. So it's like the Masters show the love when they're there, they're on site, they're happy to be there, and make them happy. Happy people spend money, and if they do that, the sponsors make money, then they come back, then we can fund the event, and so it's just nice. It's kind of keeping the money within our little circle,
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was thinking, and I was talking with Talking Elite Fitness, the crew over there, over the past couple of weeks about the rumors of the changes, and then what's it actually came out, and we were able to confirm that. But we've been talking over there about the value of the eyeballs of the Masters audience. That when we're taking a look at YouTube views for competitions like the CrossFit Games, you're going to have millions of people watching, or hundreds of thousands of people watching half naked people do thruster races, which is great. And we're going to watch those amazing competitions as well. And the people that generally are fans of Masters athletes or Masters competition are the ones that are ones that spend money, and that there is an interesting thought process about, say our live stream has X amount of, maybe 10,000 views, but what are those eyeballs worth versus the 100,000 views and those eyeballs that are in the major CrossFit space? But it's just a fun conversation, a fun way of thinking, because I think you're right. I think that our demographics, because we have slightly or significantly more disposable income than 20-year-olds, we spend money on things. And when we buy a pair of shoes, we buy a pair of shoes for me, well then my wife needs shoes, and my kids probably need shoes and shirts and shorts and grips. And I'm I just ordered a barbell for my 10-year-old today, because he's ready for a barbell. We spend a decent amount of money. So that's exciting. It's really exciting to think what this year looks like. And that the other side of that, as a business owner, I was thinking about, of course, wanting to be involved in Legends and the CrossFit Games as a sponsor. Well, the cost to do that at the historic CrossFit Games was so offensively expensive that there's just no way. Crazy. Right. But in a much more niche market and a competition that's just masters athletes, it could become, I would say it's more affordable, but much more targeted. So the ROI in my mind is much greater when I'm actually in front of the demographic that I'm going after. And I think that's a really neat opportunity for sponsors, for vendors at Legends in the future CrossFit Games.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And, as we approach next year and we're kind of putting our deck together, if you will, we got to, as a team, Legends team, we got to look at it as this is year one. It's kind of like this is a restart, and we can't charge the games prices. That's just going to be ridiculous, So, and we want to, especially the Legends team, Bob, me, Jason, we love developing relationships that we can count on every year. They can show up, they can come back. So what that means is we got to do everything in our power to make sure that you guys are successful it's worth your trip. You see the ROI.
Yeah.
As far as live stream, it's a weird conversation because, like we've said, we've had our live stream 2 years that has been at a very high level, has cost a lot of money, and unfortunately, the number of views doesn't match up with going to a sponsor and be like, hey, we need this amount of money. Here's this amount of views. They're gonna be like, that doesn't match up. Here's a little bit. And so this year is going to be immensely important because this is their first year that literally every view, every spectator, every dollar spent is because this was a masters only event. So in previous years, you couldn't really pull data because teams, pros, other groups were there. So now it's like every spectator, every ticket sold is because this is a master event. Every vendor there is because there's a master event. Every dollar that they make is because it's a master event. So like we talk about, we want you guys to show up, go to these events, do all that. Now this is the most important year. This is like our whole community as far as event director, Bob and I and Jason, and then you guys as competitors, and then your supporters. And this is the year that this is our one shot, not one shot, but this is our first shot. So it's like, then we can take this data and into the next year, we can be like, cool, this is what the Masters community truly is about. We have this many views. They spent this much money. There was this many hotels. So when we go to a city, when we go to get a venue, we have more bargaining power so that we can give you guys more. Yep. So it's like 2024. I know you guys don't have a lot of details, and as soon as those details come out, we're going to give them to you. Right. We're running this is a business. So as soon as it's set in stone, guaranteed, we're going to tell you right away. It would be irresponsible of us to be like, we're thinking about going here with 60 people per division. Yeah. Actually, it's way over here, and it's going to be way less than 60. So it's like, as soon as it's set in stone, I'm like...
Or it's going to be one of these 3 places, and you can kind of decide.
Book hotels, don't put a deposit down in each city. Sure. So, no, it's like, Jason, as a business owner, it's like, it wouldn't make any sense for us to hold on to any. It's like, no, we're going to tell you as soon as possible because we want you guys to be there and plan to be there, put it on your calendar, make it a family vacation. We want it to be in a destination city so that you can go have fun. There's multiple options for different ages of your family to go have fun.
Bingo.
So,
which is perfect for this demographic. Again, we're masters athletes, so we have families, and I think I think it's brilliant to have that in your mind as you're thinking about potential destinations for this competition. That it is so that we can be involved in a sport that we love, which is a glorified hobby, and our families can also go to wherever it's at, whatever's there, we're going to make a family trip out of it. So I think it's really fun. Okay, I've got a couple of questions. I was literally just sort of brainstorming some questions that I've seen in my inbox or DMs on Instagram, stuff like that. And you may or may not be able to answer a handful of these. I think I have 5. I figured I would just fire them off in sort of rapid style.
Cool.
So first, drug testing at the 2024 Legends CrossFit Games, whatever that looks like. Drug testing, do you know if that'll stay, if that's going to be a part of it? Is that going to be something that either pre-competition or post-competition will be part of it?
We, as been, CrossFit and Legends plan on doing the same, keeping it at the same level.
Okay. These are not in order of importance. It's just questions that have come up. Prizes, prizes in 2024. The prize pool, which could be different, could be the same. Any information on prize pool?
Current plan is to keep it the same. So if not, get better. So current plan is to keep it the same.
Cool.
As CrossFit, not Legends. So
sure,
a little bit more.
CrossFit one.
Yeah. No Bitcoin though. We're not doing Bitcoin.
It depends. I mean, it depends if it's a good day or bad day.
Let's see how Rogue turns out here in a couple of weeks.
Days of competition. If you have your perfect plan for 2024, and again, this may be speculative, 3 days of competition, 4 days of competition. What's your preference and hope for 2024?
For the games, 4.
Okay,
we want 4,
and that's what we've had at Legends historically, and it's a great test. I've been more sore from Legends championships than the games historically. Anyway, which brings me to the question: who programs the 2024 competition?
That's currently in. So again, it's one of those things that's not set in stone, but it will be at minimum a collaborative effort.
Cool.
Yeah. So we again, like Bob and I we have a lot of fun with the programming.
Of course you do.
We love thinking like, what do you think Jason Grubb would think of this workout? How can we test his brain? And so we love giving the big guys workouts, the little guys workouts. One workout, it's half big guy, half little guy, so it's, but there's some intelligence tests, are they going to take the bait on this? What I love about the programming is just the freedom you have to really test people, but you don't have to kill them. They almost give them the opportunity to, go kill themselves if they want to. So
Yeah, right. I have one here that looking at it from like a volunteer's perspective, the network that you have put in place, and when you do a call out for volunteers for the 2024 competition, I would imagine that would be pretty well received. But a different angle from that is judging. The judges, we know how they worked either priorities or qualifications that were needed to be judges at, say, we'll call it Madison. How will you handle that for the 2024 competition? Will there be some collaboration with HQ in an effort to bring in judges?
Yeah, so we've already had talks about that, and CrossFit HQ is going to support us in getting the high quality judges, and also teach us how they queue up the judges, how they prepare them, how they train them, if you will. That's going to be, and that's something that I'm totally curious about. Like, what processes do you guys have to make the judging very clear, very clean across the board, but also, like, when you see them on the floor, they look like a machine. They all move the same,
Yes.
So it just makes a clean look,
time.
right?
They back up at the same time. They're standing in the
so
same.
We kind of had that at Mayhem when the way they were operating by like the final day, because a couple of the judges, a few of them do the games, so they had experience. So I gave them freedom to kind of go ahead and queue up the team and teach them, and it was cool to see. I was like, oh wow, that didn't come from me. That came from those guys, like Andrew Sten, Yamaris Pacheco, those guys that have immense experience judging at the games and volunteering. So having CrossFit support with teaching us how to teach the team is another thing that they're going to be there to help us with. Also, like in rulebook enforcement, and we're going to stay along the same lines as CrossFit Games, CrossFit World.
Do you know at this point, that's a great, you bring up a great point. In years past, when HQ has released the rulebook for the next year, it's been generally in this time frame. This may be October to December time frame, so maybe November or something. When HQ does that for this next year, will Team Pit and Legends and Wheel Wad, will that be incorporated as to part of this, or will you be issuing, and each of the other spinoffs, will you be issuing your own?
Honestly, I don't know that yet.
Okay.
That's a good question. So I know in the rule book they have like locations and dates and all that. So, we have the same company that helps CrossFit find their cities and do all that work. They're working for us too. We always, like, they're the best of the best. Danny over at Framework Events, his team's crazy good. So they're out there looking all over the place for us, trying to find a place that's going to look really good and we can deck out. So we don't want it to look like at the Coliseum at the games where there's kind of a bunch of empty seats. It just doesn't look good on camera. So we want something that's very appropriate to where it looks exciting, and the people there, you have a good vibe, you bring everyone closer together. So they're currently trying to find us that. We want a pool, we want a field, we want multiple fields of play. We want it to be top notch. So
you've got a laundry list, just checking them off.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, and it's crazy when you think you have like 7 divisions. Between 35 and 60 plus, 65 plus, male and female. That's 14 different categories all at one time, multiple. That's so much, honestly, to handle from a logistics standpoint. You guys are masters at it, literally, having done it the past few years. And I could see, honestly, why it was so resource intensive for the games and how that was complicated historically over the years. Because then when it comes to individuals and teams, there's just not that many divisions. They just have to deal with a few heats here and there and a lot of moving parts, and a lot of moving bodies. To be sensitive for your time, we do want to ask some questions about Legends 2023, which is coming up in like 6 weeks, I think. Yep. But before we switch gears, are there any questions we haven't asked, Joe, that you were ready to answer, but we just didn't bring them up? What haven't we asked? Did we miss any?
Shame on us for not bringing it up if he hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen this other places, but honestly, the most exciting thing for me, I think I said this on Talking Leaf Fitness. I definitely did. They just posted it on Instagram. I am excited that now that you make the games virtually, right, online, and you're top 10, that doesn't mean you're a top 10 games athlete in that category. You have to go prove it now.
Yeah.
You have to go to the competition in live, compete over 4 days, then you are top 10. One thing I'm really excited about, another thing I'm really excited about is that with this big field of 40, the people that come in, the bottom 10, let's say, unless there's like an injury or something they're recovering from, more than likely, they're not going to take Jason Grubb out or even make the podium. So them even making it, they won. So when they go to the game, they won. They're like, that's their world. They won, So when they go to the games, they have a different goal. They have a different, they're going to like really soak it up. They're going to want to do their best, but like Jason, if you're going to qualify for the game, but what's your goal at the game?
Well, now it's to
you
win.
Want to win.
Yeah, now.
Right. It's to win.
Yeah.
So imagine like all the pressure that they feel to make the games, you feel to win the game. So it's like this whole group of people now have this different experience completely than what these upper athletes have. And that's going to be really fun to see, them, not only having fun, but them be able to like live their dream of competing in these crazy workouts that we're going to program, obviously, fun workouts against the best of the best in a big field. And maybe they qualify 40th, ended up taking 25th. There was a guy that, I forget his name, Kotler maybe, he took 18th in semis, he podiumed. So it's exciting.
That's my first year at the games, Joe. That was it. I'm that guy in 2018 where I just one time I wanted to step onto the competition floor at the games. That was the one bucket list item in my life at the time. And when I qualified, I won. I won because I was invited. I got the invitation email and I didn't go to the games in 2018 to win. I had no illusion, no plans to dominate the world. It was, I can't wait to go out there and compete against the 20 fittest men on the planet in my division. And then, I was 13th and I did okay. And then the next year, like I was ready for destruction. Like, let's go.
Right.
Now I want to.
Yeah, it gave you fuel, right? It gave you fuel. It's like you felt that success, and like as a competitive, you guys are competitive athletes, and it reminds me when I was in high school wrestling. I was okay. I started freshman year, I was okay. I got beat up a lot, but sophomore year, I took like third in some tournament, and I was like, oh, this is cool. All right, I trained way harder. I was there every morning. I was practicing harder. I was like, okay, now I want to win. Now this is what I want. And it accelerated my success very quickly. Like people are like, whoa, dude, what happened? I'm like, I got a taste, I want it. I want it again. So I'm excited to see more stories like yours where you barely qualify, you end up 13th, and now you're like, okay, now this is what I want to do again and do it better. And to see those stories, more of those stories will be pretty cool. They'll be more frequent now.
And the best part about it is yours will be in person versus the last couple of years. It's been 30 invited to semifinals. So it was spots 11 to 30 just by making it to semifinals virtually. You won, but very different feeling if spot number 14 can actually make a difference on the competition floor.
Yeah. So. And then, there's not a lot of room for error, unless you go back to think about when Rich Froning took 30 whatever in like the run, and his battle back. It's like, okay, like if you mess up hard and you're going to fall very, very far down the leaderboard. So there's a lot of different scenarios that are going to pop up that we don't see when there's only 10.
Totally agree.
We're looking forward to it.
Now we do have the Legends Championship 2023. Yeah, which in the past week, maybe there's been some overshadowing because of the big news. But I mean, I'm not sitting back. I'm training for Legends 2023. Yeah. I'm working hard. I know the guys. I got eyes everywhere paying attention to I know the guys coming. So it's no joke, this competition. It's the hardest competition of the year. So we want to be well trained for it. Can you specifically tell us all of the workouts for the event this year? Or what if you can't answer that, what are some of the things you're really looking forward to this year for the Legends competition coming up?
So it's really cool. One thing is we are swimming first year. I have never programmed a swim workout for a competition, neither has Bob. So we are collaborating with a professional from ASU.
Oh boy.
He's going to be giving us feedback on this. So he knows what top level swimmers can do. He also runs like the open masters program. So like people of all ages, when they want to come in and get better, he also runs that program. So he knows what people can do for each age group. So it's like, it's like if Chris Hinshaw was going to program the endurance workout, right? This guy is a master. It's his expertise. So
tell us his name.
Bob and I this year.
Tell us his name and his phone number real quick.
Yeah. And it was cool because he was just touring me around the pool when I went out there. I thought he just was maintenance guy, and he was the coach. I was like, oh, hey man, can I talk to you about something? I don't have any experience with this, so can you help me? He's like, absolutely. And he's super cool.
That's excellent. There's a relationship building right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's another thing? We will have a repeat workout. We're gonna put a little twist on it, just like the open or just like our online qualifier. And we just want to see people how people do better. Yeah, every year they do so much better. Even like when we did all repeats in the online qualifier, that was really cool. The online qualifier was really hard, pretty heavy. But like I've told people, we don't have a multi-stage process. This is a one shot, you make it. So we do have to make it difficult. What else? Teams are going to be.
I was going to say 4 days for individual, 2 days for teams. Okay.
4 days for individual, 2 days for the teams. We're bringing in the scaled. We're pushing the scaled to be better. Just because they're a scaled athlete doesn't mean that we can't get them to do stuff that they didn't know they could do. You know, we did toes to bar in our online qualifier. We did handstand push-ups. Now we brought down the reps, but it doesn't mean that we're going to scale that to what CrossFit or other competitions scale it to. You know, we may bring down the reps, but I'm excited to see more so on that like community side to see them do things they didn't know they could do. And then they can take that back to their box and continue to work on that, make it better. And then you kind of level up, you know, that's going to be really cool to see too. That is a challenge with, you think about scaled athletes, there's such a broad spectrum. When you're programming for guys like Grubb and this little pizza pie, it's easier, right? But when you bring in scale, that goes deep. So it's like, you got to be smart about, you know, not programming something that half of them are going to get stuck at on rep one and not be able to do anything. So it's like, we need to be able to provide some sort of workout that, you know, maybe gets harder as it goes along. They can get deep into a workout and still have fun.
I will ask, this is probably like Jason asking for the specifics of every individual workout. Will the worm or some version of a worm be making an appearance for teams?
What's cool is like Desert City Classic, which is an event at the same venue 1 month before, they do have worms. So
okay, that's an interesting observation. Thank you.
Well,
so it'll be December 8th through the 11th.
7th. 7 to 10.
7 to 10, excuse me. 7 to 10 at Arizona State in Tempe. First
for
those legends, for those competing. Yep.
Yeah, for those competing, check in Wednesday. We're making it like a party. We're going to have first form on site. Tier's going to be on site. 2 other vendors. They're going to be on there giving discounts to all the athletes and coaches showing up, people checking in. We're going to make that a party. We're going to make it much like 2021. You're going to come in, you're going to get your gear, you're going to get your little goodie bag from the sponsors, you're going to go change, you're going to take your picture. That's going to be on the website or on a site later that evening. You can download it, post it up with your, on your hotel bed and all that stuff. That's a big important thing for us as event coordinators, is to show the sponsors and give them time to make their first impression. So that when you walk in, you're like, wow, this is all set up just for check-in. That's important. It kind of wows you guys. When you guys walk into Mayhem, we want to like have a lot set up. So you're like, whoa, like this is insane. So same thing for this year. We want a wow factor. We want to give you guys, we want to win the weekend. We want to win you guys over on Wednesday.
Looking forward to it.
I mean, it's gonna be a great competition. It's gonna be really fun. Mm-hmm. How many athletes in total, including scaled teams, have registered for Legends this year? We
have 3 team spots open. So there's about 565, I want to say. No, 555. We'll probably end up with around 560s. There's a couple scale spots open. So hopefully those get filled. Those are still that's an open registration now. Just because if people want to come compete, why not let them? So
yeah, absolutely. It only helps.
This has to be the largest Masters CrossFit competition in history so far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I
the
think
couple
MFC was nearly a 500 or maybe over 500 as well. They're pretty big too. But yeah, we're up there for sure.
I mean, it's great. It's an ocean of Masters athletes. And for those that are listening, if you're on the fence, if you're scaled and you're wondering, should I jump into this competition or form a team and do this? I think all 3 of us could just say, having been on a competition floor, that it's so important and so fun to get reps in on the competition floor with a judge at a competition. Like it changes everything. There is a difference between training and pushing yourself in that, and the camaraderie in a gym, which is really, really fun. And what actually happens when you're on that floor, there's a switch, there's a adrenaline dump that happens. You get to battle at the highest level you can on the competition floor there. So if there's still space, man, and you're on the fence, I think it's worth going. And these are also really fun competitions to come and watch. So if you need a place to go to be warm in December, I think, come on down. Come on down.
Come on down, Arizona.
The more people that come and watch this thing, like I guarantee that I'll put on a show. Like I will be out there suffering and doing my best to put on a great show. Rick, I know Rick is just a showman. In the middle of the competition, he's probably going to raise his arms and try to get the crowd involved, while he's resting between reps. Good chance of that. And it's also just a great time
between worms.
In between worms, which it's not confirmed or denied, but they exist. Correct. So that's always fun.
Yeah, we do have easy access to them. So.
They're there. Yeah. All right. Well, Joe, man,
thank you.
We appreciate you and your time so much.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you guys. This is fun. Yeah. It's exciking. I like answering questions, give you guys as much information that I possibly can, because why not? It would only help the competition. And again, to kind of, hammer in, like next year is the Masters community opportunity, as well as the teenage and as well as the adaptive. This is the year, opening year, to clearly show the level of support that we all claim to have.
Yeah, I think Rick and I both agree that, once dates and times and locations get confirmed, I'm booking my ticket, I'm making my plans, and I will share with the world and encourage everybody that can to do the same thing. Just plan your trip around it, and let's make the baseline the standard, so that going forward, sky's the limit. So let's make that first year just explosive and amazing. So
and that goes with open signups, quarterfinal signups.
Back into the community.
That is part of it. It starts in February, I'm guessing. Starts in February, right? So that's the start of it. We need to show force there too, as well, to show CrossFit like, hey, we want this and we're excited.
We're gonna do it. All right, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks for tuning into the Masters in Motion podcast. If you found this episode helpful, we'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or your preferred podcast app. Your support helps us reach more listeners and grow our Masters community. Until next time, get bolder, not older. See you next week.